I wonder what they're like.
From our viewpoint, Professor, they're either suprahuman or subhuman.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to this special edition Sunday night super stream. It's not a superliminal thing tonight. It's not Magic Arena. It's not any of the other nonsense that we stream. It is, in fact, the Old School Winter Derby Top 16, and I'm not alone. I am joined by one of the most known podcasters in Old School. You know him. You probably love him. Say hi, Mano.
One of the most known podcasters in Old School. Talk about King of the Anthill. Yes.
Hey,
appreciate that.
Look, to the rest of us, to the rest of the ants, King of the Anthill means something. So, and with us this evening, I'm going to jump over to the match. We have Will and we've got Lucas, and we are going to see some classic Boreal action. Gentlemen, you may fire when ready.
Yeah, Boreal, if you don't know, is basically, if you have to ask if it's legal, it is in Boreal. 4 strips, yes. 4 shops, yes. 4 recalls, yes. 4 whatevers, yes. Literally every single thing. Mana burn, yes. Every single thing, the answer is yes.
Yep. So this is the 4 of format. So we should see 4 of plenty of things. We won't be seeing 4 strips from Will, which I think is interesting, but we will be seeing 4 strips. Well, hopefully not all 4 of them from Lucas. That tends to make games go a little bit long, but
yeah, Will, a man after my own heart. He we've talked about he's always brewing in this space, this blue-white bottle space, and he's just playing a couple of strips, literally just to kill library because it's a very good Magic card. And what are
I don't know.
they doing?
Maybe you want to unmute them to find out what they're doing.
Oh, hold on. They can't hear me. Yeah. I'll unmute them. What? Do I unmute them? Here we go. Are you guys okay? All right, they're good.
Okay. Wanted to make sure there wasn't anything technological on their end. Oh, as Will's camera decided to play the autofocus game. Now that's a start from Lucas.
Yes, off of a strip mine too. He's not even trying to hide the fact that he might not be stripping you next turn.
Yep, that's quite a start. That'll be interesting.
Oh, Will has some moxes.
Holy shit!
Enormous.
Okay. Oh my god. So we talked about it before the stream, and for the benefit of those out in chat, Will has 30 mana sources, 30 and a half mana sources because he has the copy. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that 5 cards out of his hand now are mana sources.
I mean, I will say this is the best possible start against Strip Vice, right? He doesn't even play a land for Lucas to strip.
Yeah, and then straight into DT. Yeah.
What do you tutor for? I would say balance. If he has balance and or Lotus in his hand, obviously he gets the other one of those cards.
Yep.
If he doesn't, I mean, maybe you just get Ancestral and assume you're going to Ancestral next turn.
Yeah, assume you'll have access to blue mana at some point.
Because Lucas is probably going to play a blue and or he has 1,000 blue in his deck, so yes. But this is a really welcome to Old School, right? I mean, this is great.
Yeah, the only way I think this could be better is if it was just like all of that. Oh, and by the way, twist you.
Yeah. I think it's really elegant that he didn't even play a land for Lucas to strip. I love it. He's playing around strip mine. It's amazing.
That's good. I mean, we talked about, again, there's a very likely chance that you're going to get stripped a lot in a 4-strip format. And how do you protect around that? Don't give them a target.
Yeah, I just don't play any lands. Easy game.
Yep. Now
I mean, honestly,
Lucas just
if
has a
Lucas
land that
plays a
taps for
city
colorless.
or a couple of dual, like he literally could never play a land if he wanted to. Not that he would do that, but that is kind of funny. He could run his whole deck off of what he has out right now in 0 lands.
Hmm. It's very possible, and I would
So
be intrigued.
yeah, I mean, it's not probable, but it is possible. So Lucas is on um a green red tog build. It has a pile of burn spells, 10 burn spells. It has a ton of power. It has creatures, 4 togs, four pixies, and 1 script sprites, 4 vices, a smattering of little other things, 1 relic barrier, 1 ankh, 1 bottle, and a bunch of lands, including 4 strips and 4 factories. So it's a red green tog has been a deck that's in and around the old school space for a long time. When 4 strips are legal, people trot out their tog decks because they're much better in 4 strip, obviously because of the vices, and that is what Lucas is doing here.
And let's be honest, both of these guys, established players in the space, cut through a field full of good players into what I think is a very good borderline who's who top 16. So
Yeah,
there's not a lot of unexpected names in this top 16 this year. So
yeah, a lot of big swinging dicks in the top 16. Wow, this is the worst possible start for Lucas after strip vice.
mm-hmm.
What is he playing? Oh, just
Twist
mind
you.
twist. Yeah.
I wonder if that was the tutor target.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
I
All
don't
right,
know. I
bolt
guess that's
you.
probably better.
Bolt you, get the rest of your hand. Oof.
Yeah, I guess that's in retrospect. Is that just an obvious target? I guess it is, right? Because that's what balance would have been. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure. Just get the. Actually, balance might have been better, right? Like, isn't balance better? Maybe it is.
I think that if you're okay, Ankh, if you're guaranteeing you drop all the cards out of your hand, I think balance is better there. But being able to hold back a card or two,
Yeah, maybe just keeping one
whoa,
card. It could be.
oof, okay. And if only this were 1993 rules, he could just take out all of his artifacts.
Yeah. Plain gentlemen's, yeah.
Yeah.
But he got it, whatever.
Yep.
Ankh, I was gonna say Ankh is one of the few cards that kind of could give him issues here. So if we didn't have a disenchant or I guess an orb for it, that's fine. Or it could have given him trouble despite this explosive start. But
Mm-hmm.
he's way ahead at this point.
Oh yeah, Miles. And now, honestly, you can just sit back until he gets that library online and just bury Lucas in card advantage.
Well, I mean, with the vices, that's going to be a little tricky. I think he's still just basically drawing dead Lucas's, except for his draw sevens. That's it. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think he can come back from this without draw sevens.
yeah. The just the resource denial and the absolute, yeah. Okay, second factory is going to do it. Interesting choices on his factories.
Yeah, I'm rusty. Why is he playing that factory after combat? What am I missing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like really rusty. I played shitty. I went 2-2 in the first batch of this derby playing, and I also hated my deck, but I played bad, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm not gonna play.
Oh, and then a bad sped weekend to top it off. Jeez, dude.
Exactly. I think I went 10.5 and 10 or something. I barely broke 500. It was embarrassing.
Wow.
All right, blue mana online now.
Okay, so we have access to the colors that matter in his deck.
He really could use a second blue to get a counterspell online against a potential draw 7. That is really kind of what he wants at this point.
Able to put the nail in the coffin with that one pretty easily.
He knows that Lucas is only out as a draw 7, so he needs to stop that.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to know what it is that Lucas picked up here and what he thinks he might be able to do from this point, because this is still an incredible uphill battle.
Yeah, I mean 14. You never know, right? You just draw Lotus and/or your draw 7, and all of a sudden you have a fresh hand, and you play another Vice and a Bolt, and then the game could just end. But I don't think that anything is going to happen in this game without a draw 7 or extremely unlucky draws by Will.
Yeah, because we've seen
Like if he just draws all of his counter spells or something and can't play them.
Yeah, we've seen 3 bolts out of Lucas already. So we're on for direct damage. We're on a bolt, 2 Psyblast, and 4 Chain Lightnings.
Yeah, and he has less less burn than most of these decks. He's only playing 10 burn spells, I think, not the full 12, because he doesn't have that much blue mana.
Yep.
So he's not on the full 12 bolt strategy here. I will say this is weird that Will hasn't played a card.
Mm-hmm. I hope he's not just sitting on all those counter spells.
I'm sure that he has to have multiple counter spells in his hand, right? Like, it's the only... I mean, he could have drawn Time Twister that he's obviously not playing. He probably has a bunch of that shit in his hand. He has swords. He could have swords in his hand, you know. Moat that he can't cast. Sarah that he can't cast. Basically, he can't cast anything in his deck, so...
All right, Time Walk.
Just to play another colored source so that he can hopefully play a card out of his hand.
Yeah.
This would be really weird to just lose this game to these Vices after going down to, like, one card.
Okay, copy. That'll give him his second white source.
If he wanted a second white, I mean...
And that says to me that he's holding probably multiple Sarahs.
But he would have just copied a different... He would have used a different Mox to copy, right?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Sarah, I assume. So, I don't know. He must not have Sarahs then.
Yeah.
I'm sure he just has like counterspell swords, you know, standard blue stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to talk about his deck. It's not the actual deck. It's like a deck from similar to the Fat Modi Summer, where people play blue-white decks with a couple of tomes and all the good removal, and also like 6.5 creatures. He just cut all the Modis from that deck, and so now he's just on 4 Sarahs, and he basically cut the Modis to add a couple more mana sources because this is a 4-strip world, and the Modi deck was already clunky in 1 strip, and it's even worse here, obviously. So we just cut all the Modis for mana, and other than that, it's just good blue and white cards.
Mm-hmm.
The slightly interesting thing about his deck is that he is playing really no city. He has 1 City of Brass, but he's not splashing red or green cards, so he can play his own bottle. He has literally just 1 library and 1 City of Brass as Arabian cards, so he has his own bottle, which is fairly useless in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good meta choice, but it does not serve him in this matchup.
Yeah. Although lack of City of Brass is very helpful in this matchup. You know, in very aggressive 12-bolt spaces, you kind of really want to eschew as many City Brasses as you can, and so that lends itself to playing bottle naturally. So I kind of like it in this 4-strip world, because people are going to be bolting you.
Okay, D.
Now, see, I would have killed the Vice there. Just in case.
It feels like this game is going long.
He can't counterspell a draw 7, and so... if he gets a draw 7 into no instance, he might just take 6 and die, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have to kill a Vice there. This is such a weird game.
It is. Especially because what are you, like, how much are you doing taking him off double black?
Right. And take, like, everything in his deck costs 2 or whatever, you know? Like, he doesn't need that.
And it's pretty obvious that Will's on one of those mana-heavy draws that 30.5 mana sources can give you. So, mana-heavy and...
Does he have 5 cards in his hands? The case bolt, right? That's all 4 bolts now? Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, because he discarded 1, bolted his... Or no, sorry, I think it's 3, because he didn't discard 1. He bolted him, and then it would have been discarded to the twist. So I think that's 3 of 4.
All right, he might
chain
truly
you.
lose this game.
Yeah.
He just can't draw a single thing. His hand is all counterspells and swords, and probably time. I guarantee Time Twister and or Brain Geyser are in his hand, maybe both.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have 5? Is that what that little 5 is? That means he has 5 cards in his hand?
I'm going to assume that's what Lucas is counting.
Yeah, you got to disenchant
right,
those
D
Vices.
there, yeah.
You got to, yeah. So now he's down to 4, but he's going to go back up to 5. He obviously doesn't have any Sarahs or Moat, so it's just counterspells, swords,
and draw spells.
And so, do we think Lucas is not playing creatures just so they don't get swords? He probably is doing that, right? At least
Not
he was
playing...
before when he had the 2 Vices.
Yep, to keep Will's hand high.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Man, this
Will
feels
is
like...
obviously very frustrated right now after just going off so hard on turn one and somehow still being in a position to lose this game because he's drawn nothing, like literally nothing usable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is definitely one of those weird, just like waiting for the other guy to fuck up games. Like, who's gonna make
there's
the
some of
first
that,
mistake?
and there's some of that like that Will just literally can't cast the spells in his hand.
Yeah. Sucks being the reactive deck when your opponent doesn't have to do anything.
Is he thinking about wheeling?
Regrowth. Yeah, I mean,
that's the play for sure.
yeah, just more damage upstairs.
Does he have no light? He's gonna take one from this vice. Yeah, I mean, if he disenchanted that other vice, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking play a Sarah. Oh my god.
I
Still only has one, just one blue online though.
I still don't know what the thought was behind the jet. Why the jet and not the vice?
I think he knows it. I think he knows that he...
Intriguing.
Recall for 2.
Yep. So now we'll get to see how right you were about what the dead cards in his hand are.
Yeah. Counterspell and Time Twister. Those were obvious.
Yep.
He already played a land. So we can Mind Twist his rest of his hand away and tutor. So we can tutor for... Yeah, this is good. This is good for him.
Okay, yeah. This is a step.
Get rid of his whole hand. Okay. Stay at 4, but he has no way to gain life in his whole deck, I don't think, except for swordsing his own Sarah.
Yep.
Oh, he had a Psyblast too.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. Did you see the way Will dropped his hand on the table there?
Yeah.
That's the feeling when you know you just dodged a big fucking bullet.
He rips Pixie off the top, but Will definitely has the swords in his hand. Like, there's no way he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, what does he tutor for? Does he tutor for a Sarah Angel to just end the game?
Or does he tutor
Probably.
for... Yeah, actually, that's probably right.
I think he just does that. And can he play it? He'll even have swords up if he needs it, but he doesn't need it because he can block the Pixie anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just tutors for Angel. He is half a mind to tutor for Moat, but Sarah is a Moat at this point. So...
Especially with Lucas with no cards in hand. Like, you're playing off the top of Lucas's deck at this point. He's already
right, and
past
his burn is
Regrowth.
all gone. Like, I mean, he loses. Sure, he loses to Wheel. He loses to Wheel, and you know that's basically it. He probably has another counterspell in his hand. He discarded the mana drain because there is mana burn, and he would lose to his own mana burn. But he probably has a counterspell. So if he plays a Sarah now. If he draws another blue source, he's looking very good.
Yeah. Especially because he's managed to get to the point where it's going to be 2 burn spells or the 1 Psyblast remaining in Lucas's deck.
Right. Like, being at 4 is so clutch. And that's why killing those vices, I mean, taking... God, could you imagine if he took that 1 chip and the vice took him to 3 right now? How bad he would feel after disenchanting that Mox?
Yeah.
Thankfully, he's still at 4. Or thankfully for him, he's still at 4. I think we're rooting for him in this game just because of that explosive start and because Lucas went strip, vice, and so we don't really want that to win. So. But I do.
He does kind of feel like the villain. Yeah, good dudes.
I don't have a personal root in this game, but I think I'm rooting for Will, deck wise.
I have the only dog I have in this fight is I really like the red green ATOG decks. So, like, I personally enjoy that deck. That's the only dog I have in this fight.
Yes, I do too.
After Will's start, I'm completely on your side with that, though. Like, you can't come back from a start like that and expect us not to be at least a little bit rooting for you.
Yeah, and after what he did on turn 1, like just blowing.
Blowing
Lucas.
Lucas.
His whole hand on the board, you know?
And not even giving Lucas a target for the strip. Like, all of that felt great.
I think if he plays a blue land at any... Okay, so
Yep.
now I think it's over. He has multiple counters. He has at least one counter spell in his hand.
Yeah.
So he can stop the wheel. And he can Swords his own Angel now, so he's actually fine. He can gain life if he has to. He's a huge favorite at this point.
Yeah, I think the old advantage bar probably swings a lot back in his favor right now.
Yeah, that was a nice play. That was a nice play, drawing the blue and then recalling away his chaff to get Tutor and Mind Twist when Lucas had shields down. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, he's, 3 hits with the Angel away from putting it away, so... And yeah, no way he doesn't have a counter plus in hand at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that can resolve. Yeah, it's fine.
Yep,
It's
we'll
fine.
go to 1.
So he has what's left in his deck? Just 2 chains and 1 Psyblast?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, case blue. Case blue. That's a counter spell. Oh no.
In response. Okay.
Does he have it? Did he play his? Oh, he has 3 blue. Okay. I thought he only had 2 blue, and so I was like, wow, is this going to resolve? Okay, he's fine then. He's fine. I thought he was going to have to Swords his own Angel before attacks.
Yeah.
Instead, he gets to win the game. So now he might not have a 3rd counter spell, but he has a sword, so it doesn't matter. He's fine now. Oh my god, he ripped Time Twister! You may want to counterspell that one. Oh my god, okay, so he did have a 3rd.
Wow, okay.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Alright, so he definitely has swords, so he has to rip Wheel now. He's presumably out of counters, so if he does rip Wheel, he can Sword his own Sarah and theoretically not die. Wheel or no? Wheel or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Strip.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
What a great game.
It was. Who do you want to look at first for the sideboard?
We could look at Will, because we talked about him a little bit prior to this, if you want.
Yep, I got it up.
Got it up? All right, so Will, here's the things we know we don't like here, right? We hate Time Twister.
Yep.
We hate Bottle. We hate some number of counter spells, 2 or 3 counter spells. Let's say 2 for now. We probably hate Brain Geyser, I think.
With 2 books, I think I'm all right to drop the Brain Geyser.
Yeah. I mean, we're not. There's not a lot of situations where we're going to want to draw 5 cards with Brain Geyser against these Vice decks, and you won't even have time to anyway, even if you did. So, counter, Bottle, Time Twister, Brain Geyser are out for sure. And cards he actively wants are 2 Red Blasts, 2 Cop Reds, probably a Swords, and probably the 2nd Moat, because we talked about before, Lucas can't kill Moat, and unlike most ATOG decks, he has no Serendibs, and so he literally has 1 Scrib Sprite to attack with a Moat in play, and 1 Chaos Orb to kill the Moats. So Moat is bomb. So I don't know what he wants out of all those cards, but he definitely wants 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6-ish cards, and he definitely wants to turn his Disenchants into Divine Offerings.
So when we were chatting with him before the game, he said he had 8 cards identified for swap. And so I think you just came pretty close to naming all of them, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he's probably talking about... I'm sure he was talking about some Disenchant for Divine Offering swaps, right? That's my guess. And then the rest of the cards. So, I don't know. Maybe he just cuts... Does he cut a book and another counter? Those are the things I'm thinking about here.
Because, I mean, those counters wouldn't have been so necessary if he had drawn any amount of action there or had drawn his colors in the right order. So...
Right. I mean, just counters bad against aggro Vice decks, right? When they go turn 1 Vice, turn 2 Guy, turn 3 Guy, you just drawing counter spells there is so bad. And they're awkward to cast and 4 strip. They're just bad. He might just cut 3 counters. 1, 2, 3, Time Twister, Brain Geyser, Bottle. That's 6. That's 6 maybe for those 6 cards, and then he swaps some Disenchants for Divine Offerings. That's probably what he does.
Yeah.
He wants to keep the books too, because they're easier to cast, and also he'll have Divine Offerings after board, so that's a 4-point life gain and a pinch, which is very important against these aggro decks. So I think that's what he wants to do.
And then if we want to take a quick look at Lucas, because they are there are drawing hands, so.
Oh geez. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm rusty at Magic. I'm rusty at broadcasting. I'm rusty at podcasting. I'm just fucking full
It's
boomer now.
okay. You got yourself a big boy job. It happens.
What the hell is Lucas gonna bring in? Let's see. He's going to bring in
Ankh,
Ankh.
maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. Ankh, Red Blast. What's bad in his deck? Let's see what's bad in his deck. Not much. Bottle's bad. Relic Barrier's okay. But his deck is very good, so he does not have a lot of stuff to bring in. He probably just wants to bring in Ankh, and he might not even want to bring in Red Blast because he knows Will is going to be cutting his counter spells. So maybe he doesn't even want to bring in Red Blast. It's too situational. So maybe it's just Ankh for Bottle. I mean, Ankh for Bottle is easy. From there, he probably knows better than he obviously knows better than I do. But like, I don't know, maybe a Shatter to keep him off mana, something like that. But it's he's doing very little sideboarding, where Will's probably sideboarding in 8 or 9 cards.
Yeah. And that's the that's the aggro problem, right? You can only kill them so hard.
Yeah. Right, and if you start, messing around too much, what are you doing? Cutting Chain Lightnings for, Shatter. I mean, you can do that kind of thing, but I don't know. At some point, if you're not going full aggro, what are you even doing, right? So,
Yep.
he probably wants, does he want that library after board? Probably on the draw or on the play. Actually, maybe not on the play. Probably doesn't. So if he wins this game, he'll probably bring it in on the draw in game 3. Well, I really like Will's situation here. I think he gains a lot after sideboarding, and I think he was probably this is 50-50-ish. He's probably maybe a mild dog. Yeah, probably basically a coin flip, and now he's favored. Although he's on the draw, so his deck is favored, but he's on the draw, so it's still probably a coin flip this game.
Yeah. I mean, a powerful start could do it. Volk, Emerald, Soul Ring. So another big pile of mana. Start on turn 1.
Pixie, maybe? Wow. Really, really strong start for Lucas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's going to do some damage.
Ugh, worst possible land, too.
Could have been better.
So that's his only white source. He's I guess he has Divine Offering for that Ankh, is my guess.
I feel kind of shitty to have to use that way, though.
I know. Like he obviously wouldn't be leading with City of Brass if he had another white source.
Fair.
Maybe he's doing it to keep up Counterspell just in case, and then he can EOT Divine Offering. That could be it. But I would think that the extra 4 damage that might deal to him over the course of the game is not worth it.
Mm-hmm. It's the broadest opportunity, but yeah. Okay. Pixie.
So I think this is a dis Divine Offering of Ankh. That's important. And then, I mean, now if he has a swords and or heaven forbid a moat, in a Mox.
Just strip. Take your blue source.
Strip the blue. Yeah, well, how much blue is Lucas even playing? He doesn't have that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a Mox. 8 blue sources and a Lotus, obviously.
Ooh, Copper Red.
Yeah, that's a good one. Wants to get that down ahead of any potential Mind Twist wheel shenanigans.
Yep.
Take 2. Wow. Oof. Yeah. I was going to say, Lucas needs something to spend this mana on, because he has so much mana. And now he's going to lose to a green creature. That's annoying for him. What do you do with the strip mine if you're Lucas? I guess you just kill the city, right? Even though you want... You have to, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't want him to be able to cast swords. So you want him to have that city in play. It's nice to ping himself, but like, you got to turn off all that good stuff.
Yeah, you got to take his colored sources.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of decisions this game from either one of these guys. The only decision was for Will to lead with that City of Brass, presumably to have to represent Counterspell and be able to Divine Offering. So we took an extra 2 points of damage for that. I don't think it matters, but race still in okay shape. I mean, Lucas is drawing not a lot after that. Oh my God! He brought in a Void Fate.
Ay 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 ay.
Oh, you can't play around that. You
No,
definitely
no, no. You're certainly not playing around that. Yikes.
This game is also a testament to the power of pixies that cannot be blocked by Mishra's Factory. Like, it's just so big. Like this, if that's just a vanilla tutu, everything changes here, right?
Yeah.
They're just doing nothing. Actually, no, because Will or Lucas would have stripped his factory then. But it still changes things quite a bit.
The calculus is way different now.
Oh my God, that Void Fate.
And not only bringing it in, but having it in the perfect moment.
Yeah, literally the perfect moment. Yeah.
Changes the entire context of this game.
If that sword goes off, he's sitting great, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my God. Now if he draws Moat, he really needs to draw actual Swords to Plowshares here. Because Moat, he's tapped out now. He's going to run it, but he's probably dead to Chain Lightning. Or a
Side Blast. Yep.
All right, well, that was, the power of Mind Twist. Okay.
Yep. That was much more a Mind Twist game than the game one.
That's what these games should be like, though. They really should be that quick.
Yeah.
Game one was just weird. They both just, like, Lucas, Bill just spewed his hand. Mind Twisted Lucas, and they sat there playing Draw Go for 15 turns. That's very weird.
It is. Not common in this matchup.
So I think that Lucas brings in Library now for sure on the draw. I can't believe he brought in a Void Fate. I guess he has. He knows after sideboard there's going to be 4 swords and 4 Divine Offerings, so it's not that bad. It still feels a little medium to me. I guess maybe... No, it's fine. It's fine, actually. I think I do like it. Like, when else are you bringing it in, right? If you're not bringing in against 4 swords and 4 offerings, when are you?
Yeah. I mean, I doubt Lucas will leave home without one Void Fate at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he will either. I mean, he gets a little better on the play, but, like, whatever. That's pretty irrelevant.
Yep. But that's the thing about a Void Fate, right? For every game that it just sits stuck in your hand, it just flat out wins you games like that.
Yeah, and you always, it's like the old Rounders quote, you always remember the big pots you've won, right? But nobody remembers their, you always remember your bad beats. You never remember the big pots you won, right? So you remember the Void Fate story where you do that.
Yep.
And you don't remember the 4 times that it stood in your hands, doing nothing, getting, time twisted away or whatever.
There's a psychologist who did a study on that, and they found that those bad moments are 7 times as emotionally powerful as the good moments.
Yeah.
And I can see it. Like,
I believe it. Island Go is a horrible start for Will, but he kept, so he must have something good.
With the scant exception of disenchanting the Mox Jet, I don't have any questions about Will's decision making thus far, so I'm not going to question this.
No, he's a very good player. I've played with him a bunch over the years. He understands the game very well. He even has a little Pro Tour history under his belt. He played in a couple of Pro Tours back in the day. Like, he's definitely a good player. Not quite. Doesn't quite have Lucas's resume.
Yeah.
Of punting in the finals of a GP, but he does have a couple of Pro Tour points to his name.
Yeah, good for him. And Lucas has a nice little turn 1 ancestral action into Lotus.
When your main phase ancestraling on turn 1, something broken is going to happen.
Turns out Black Lotus among the broken things.
Right, you could safely just upkeep that. So, is it going to be? Oh, wow.
Discard to hand size.
See, what am I missing here? Why wouldn't you upkeep that?
I don't know.
Is it that important? Like, does he even have anything like a dib or something that he could play? Like, I'm definitely missing something. Like I said, I'm super rusty, but like I don't get why you wouldn't upkeep that.
I mean, I want to hold on to it until the last possible second, just in case. So I'm with you on that one.
But like you can't let him play a second blue mana,
Yeah.
right? Because then he counter spells it. But if you it's perfectly safe in his upkeep.
Yeah,
So,
and that's one less card you have to worry about discarding.
This moat
Is this going to be Moat or Sarah? All right, there's the Moat. Okay.
Moat. So he has one Chaos Orb in his deck to kill this Moat.
Yep.
So shields are down right now before he can disenchant it. Lucas is the kind of guy who will draw his one out though. I can. It smells. It smells a little chaotic in here.
We saw it with the Avoid Fate last game. So
yeah, exactly.
he draws his one-outers quite often.
As good players do, they put themselves in positions where their one-outers will work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really like Will's position here. It did. He felt very confident in that. So he's sandbagging. Do you sandbag Moxes there? What am I missing? Because what if Lucas goes like vice? After that turn.
Yeah. That would have been rough.
What am I missing? Or balance? Or he doesn't have balance, but like just anything. Mind twist. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they can explain it to us.
And maybe it's just been a long weekend and he got a little antsy.
No. Dude, these guys are better than me.
That's
I
fair.
assume that
That's
they
fair.
know.
Yeah.
I assume that they know what they're doing, and I'm thinking about it wrong. But
that's fair.
I really just have not. Other than the Sped Weekend, which I just played like actual 20 hours of Magic. I haven't played these sorts of matches of Magic really in a long time. Like I played a couple for the Derby, and not since like summer have I really played old school.
Yeah.
What's the art on? What's Will's playmat? Do we know what that is?
Looks like some really nice Japanese cherry blossom.
I was gonna say it looks like a Japanese tree of some sort.
Yeah, it's a really nice piece of art. I also very much like Lucas's Tundra playmat, including having it oriented so that his opponent can see what it is.
Yeah, I would have never known what it was.
Nah, couldn't have possibly recognized Tundra. Oh, the card advantage.
Did he play?
So he's got blue floating from the.
Yeah, but he didn't play a land yet. So.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Chain you?
Oh.
Okay.
Your second white source.
It's kind of fine. That one's fine. I don't mind that one as much because what else are you gonna do? He needed to like do something with this regrowth, whatever. Mm-hmm. The other one I just understand a little bit less.
That's okay. Hey, it happens. Chat discussion regarding not actually recognizing Tundra, despite our insistence to the opposite.
That's kind of embarrassing. If you're watching this chat, you should know that's a Tundra. So, or if you're watching this stream.
So,
I mean, this
things
is about
looking bad for Lucas, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All Will wants to do is play a Lotus in a fucking moat, right?
Like this is especially with the strip still there, so like it's going to be hard for Lucas to establish land-based mana.
Right, he very clearly hasn't drawn any Moxes because he would have loved to play one and not discarded. So like he's
Well, there's the orb.
God, I told you it smelled chaotic.
There was the one outer. There was the one outer. Yep.
Textbook, gorgeous.
Clean.
Oh, he actually killed the Sarah. I don't even know if. I guess he probably has to because the clock is too big. But now that moat will never die. Oh no, he get Time Twister because he already regrowth. So he can Time Twister that Chaos Sword back. But that's
so there's exactly one very convoluted situation in which that moat will die.
Right,
So
so he
he's
knows he'll
down
never
to.
have to strip that factory. He needs to play cop red, and then he's just fully golden. But
Mhm.
Sarah will also do the same thing. All right,
Then
cool.
there's second Sarah.
Unless he actually has Psyblast, he only has 2. Clearly doesn't, because he would have Psyblasted the shit out of it right there.
Yep.
So Will has plenty of mana and only 2 cards, so it's pretty easy to get under Vice. That's an important card, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. So
And he had and with 7 cards in hand too. Nice.
At least, well, we knew he had a lot of cards, right? Because he's been discarding hand size. But at least we were able to call that one that he brought in library against the blue-white control deck. We're fucking geniuses.
You don't say. He wanted card advantage against the control deck. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. So now all of his colors are online, including his second blue. He can't attack with this ATOG. He probably has a counterspell in hand for the Time Twister, which feels. Oh, he has actual Strip Mine. What are we even talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever.
By the way, the chat member who could not recognize the playmat was Fantric. So.
Really?
Yep.
You know who that is?
I actually don't. I don't know the name to the username. So.
It's Jeff Liu, I think.
Oh.
He must be fucking around.
He's on his phone apparently. So.
Okay. All right. Fine. Oh my god. GG's. This GG's.
Yeah. Holy shit, that was rough.
Yeah. Full and utter GG's at this point.
Yeah, that was rough.
I do like Lucas's play though. That was clearly an upkeep double bolt, right? So if he drew into something broken now, he would be able to Time Twister. A lot of people would not upkeep that, but a person of Lucas's pedigree clearly understands that tapping someone down during their upkeep is very important.
Jeff apparently also suffers from aphantasia, so it's hard to recognize things just by image. Or at least that's his claim in the chat. Yeah.
As has been documented on a podcast near you. Does this
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's exactly how Will said it would happen.
Yep.
So.
And I mean that is the game that he predicted that he needed to have, right? Like, for the benefit of everyone in chat who wasn't here earlier when we discussed it with Will, that was kind of exactly the game that he said he needed to have. So.
Yeah. Those white cards, very powerful against them. The point is, those decks want to get out in front of cards like Moat and Sarah Angel, and he just couldn't. You want to turn these guys on? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll unmute him.
Okay.
That's his one out against the Moat.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's
especially because I used regrowth too, but figured I was just going to die to the Sarah, and I had the Loa, so I was hoping that you were just not going to have anything, and I could buy time, find a strip, start using library, buy some time, and then make something happen.
Well, yeah, just if you can like double bolt my Sarahs or something like that, then who knows what can happen in the game,
Right. These guys are probably trying to talk to us, so I'm gonna.
All right.
Them.
Yeah,
on the volume here. Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
It was a hell of a series of games. It was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Game 1 was super tight.
There were
one life.
That was a lot to watch, especially that turn 1. Will, my God, we were jumping out of our chairs with that turn 1, weren't we, Wano?
We liked how you played around Strip Mine by not playing land. That was very smart.
Oh yeah, high level thinking there.
Yeah. That was weird though. So it was clear that it was very clear you had an awkward draw full of Time Twisters and counterspells, and you were somehow going to still lose to these vices even after spewing like that. It was kind of painful to watch.
Yep. No blue, and I had like 3 counterspells and a recall at one point.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, Will, why disenchant the Mox Jet?
I mean, I just figured that in this matchup, I can kind of affect my hand size enough that I can usually keep myself under 4. And, I wanted to avoid the kind of explosive hand where he goes like Time Twister, Bolt, something. I mean, the way it played out, I probably would have had more options by disenchanting the Vice. And then, because that gives me, if I top deck the next disenchant, then I disenchant the other Vice and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it would have played out, and it probably would have played out a little bit better. But I guess just in my experience when I'm on the deck or the decky kind of things, like as long as I can dodge it the first couple turns, I just try to keep my hand under 4 and ignore Vice.
Okay, that's kind of what we figured, but we were just like We were sitting here like he's got so many cards in his hand. Oh no,
Yeah,
not
I
the
should have
vice.
thought more about the counter spells and whatnot, and the fact that we are playing in 4 strip, and that like there's no way I'm getting double blue. But I had the recall, so like all I needed was 1 blue, and I was just like waiting to do the like recall and get back all my goodies.
Yeah.
But
And then just
it took me longer than I thought.
both we and the chat, Lucas, absolutely loved the avoid fate in game 2. That was
Oh, yeah.
that was
That was
clutch.
clutch.
Yeah,
was-
avoid fate is sweet.
To quote directly from Jeff Liu in the chat, underrated, never leave home without one.
Definitely like an oddball 1 is really good, but it's I think Svante has 2, and that might be correct as well. So it's nice against the white decks for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's a good
Yeah.
counter,
Just
though.
having one kicking around keeps them guessing, right? You can't really play
Totally.
around it. So
Yeah.
like,
It's like having 1 giant growth or something in your deck. It's like,
yeah,
ugh.
exactly.
You just have that sick feeling in your stomach. You're like, oh, here it goes.
Oh
You
fuck,
can't
they got
possibly
me.
have it.
Yeah. Oh fuck, they got me.
Yeah. It's tough. No, I was saying I would much rather play against like the Abyss Red Blast version of the deck, which I think I won 9 games in a row against that. I played against Rich, I played against Quinn, and I played against somebody else in the Swiss, and I just like couldn't lose to that deck. But this one with the moats and the angels is so much tougher. Yeah.
Yeah, moat's
It's just-
really hard for you, as I'm sure Will mentioned it a lot to you. And we saw you draw your 1 out and have to Chaos Orb with the Sarah Angel, and your regrowth was already spewed, so you only really could time twister into your Chaos Orb was that you're only out for moat at that point.
Yeah, I think I should have gone for the moat and just tried to race the angel, but that plan wasn't going to work. So
You were fucked, basically. Like,
well,
who knows?
the thing was, I had the library, right? So, and he was low on cards. So my thought was, all right, let me get the angel off the board. Let me try to find a strip for his strip, and then I can just start librarying here, and then hopefully just draw, into a lot of stuff. That was what I was thinking, but it was a bad spot either way by that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate your line. I don't know. It's very who knows what the right line is there. It's extremely close either way. But you were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Clearly, my one question for you, Lucas, is why did you main phase Ancestral on turn 1?
Yeah, so my hand had Lotus in it already, and I had like Atog, so I was basically just hunting for like Vice. I had 2 Atogs, and I had Lotus. So it's like I could find a Vice or a Mox, and then I could just be like Atog, or crack Lotus and go Atog Vice. And I think it was worth the extra damage, especially because my hand had Loa and it had Regrowth. So it was like, I'm going to make up these cards later. I just needed to find some acceleration fast. Or like I could have gotten Wheel or Twister or whatever. Like there was a lot of options there. So I think it was worth it.
Okay, and it just didn't pay off. So you decided it was not worth it to crack Lotus for a single Atog and say go, which I agree with. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but it had a lot of upside, and like I mean, discarding a land there didn't really bother me. Yeah,
especially because you're gonna be drawing back up with Regrowth and Ancestral anyway.
So. Yeah, right. So I think it was worth taking a shot at, because like his deck just wants more time, and I just need to put pedal to the metal and deal as much damage as quickly as possible. So I think that's the right way to do that.
I like it. Yeah. I was trying to think of reasons, and other than just random explosive stuff, not a lot came to mind, but that's probably just enough, and I didn't weigh it heavily enough. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean 2-drop Vice there is really good off the Lotus. Like if I go Atog Vice, go.
Okay, yeah, that is true. And like the worst possible start against you is Island Go, right? And so that's what he did. And so I'm curious, Will, why did you keep the Moxes in your hand on game 3? Because what if he does go fucking land Mox, Vice? Don't you feel like an idiot for having Moxes in hand? What am I missing here? I'm rusty. I've been talking all over the chat. I'm very rusty at Magic.
I drew Moxes. I had a really slow hand. I had like a plains, an island, a strip mine, but I had a moat and a disenchant. So I figured, all right, I take Vice to the teeth and just drop a moat turn 4 or 5. Like moat is the best card in my deck. Like that and the Cop Red and I don't know how you kill me, and that's one of my 2 kind of soft lock pieces.
Yeah.
And I've got the disenchant, so I don't just auto lose to a Vice. So I just kept a slow hand, and then I drew the Mox, and then drew. I drew like the nuts.
I think you drew 2. Must have drawn 2 Moxes in a row.
3 Sarahs, and then my next like 7 or 8 cards.
Right. So you drew very good after that
Yeah.
strong, albeit slow hand. You kind of drew
Right.
exactly what you needed: a
Yeah.
Pearl to play the early moat and Sarah's to cast off of your 5 mana. Yeah. Okay.
Andrea just had the one strip. That was so annoying because I was like sitting there with Loa, and I'm like, okay, well, once I finally find my strip mine here, I can go off to the races. But like, I never did, and I could never. I just kept waiting and waiting for a better spot, and then finally got to the point where, like, on the second Sarah, I'm like, well, now I have to find answers.
I mean,
But yeah, that was really annoying.
it's kind of ironic that like the one draw I have that has like absolutely no power, nothing fast, is the one that like was probably my best game. Where it's like I don't know. I play like you could see this in like X Point or something. It's like just super 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 slow, but I
Right.
just had all the silver bullets.
But I think
Game
what
one
made
was
it good
tough,
is you
though, but- Sorry,
you
Nana,
drew
go.
those 2 moxes. Like I think without those 2 moxes, it might just be too slow. But that's what put it over the top and made it great. I mean, I don't know if it's too slow, like you said. I like you defended it fine, but like the moxes turned it
Yeah.
from like a decent probable keep hand to like a very good hand. You know?
Yeah, no, I like drew a Mox. I drew a Time Walk. Or no, I think I had the Time Walk. Yeah, I did have one piece power. So yeah, like the Mox helped me accelerate, and then Time Walk helped me accelerate again.
But that one,
Yeah.
I think, according to plan-ish, I think probably pre-board Lucas is maybe a smidge favored, but not by much. It's very close to a coin flip, and then I think you're a little better after board. Will, you gain a lot, and he gains like a Void Fate and what the fuck, and Library. That's basically it. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And you gain like 6 cards and get to turn your Disenchants into Divine Offerings. So yeah, so I think that's. I mean, you squeaking one out in 3 is probably how this should go down as it is written, and it did, and it was exciting. Those were good old school games. Well
Yeah,
done.
they
Yeah,
were.
for sure.
It's classics.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Good
night.
games. Yeah.
Yeah,
And good luck to you
GGs.
the rest of the way there, Will.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the games.
All right. Later.
Catch you later.
Later,
GGs, guys. All right, so that's gonna do it for the stream tonight, everybody. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to do some more Derby streaming. So it was a lot of fun to do it in the summer, and it's hopefully going to be the same amount of fun to do it again here in the fall or the winter. The fall. The fuck's wrong with me? It's been a long. So all right. So for me, it has been a long weekend. Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go there. It has been a long weekend, but yeah. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
You can catch us here every Sunday night, even though I preempted the normal Modern Days Magic stream with this evening. We will also be here second Saturday of every month. We're here doing random stuff. Been playing some Slay the Spire lately. That's been a lot of fun, man. I know you're a fan.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we've been playing some 4-person Slay the Spire, which is always kind of fun when you get that. I want to go this way. I think we should go this way. Kind of feel.
What is 4? So you just get 4 people on, and you guys just argue about all the decisions?
Yeah, basically, we try to each person tries to micromanage a nice Slay the Spire run.
But they do their own independent runs.
No,
You guys
it's one run. It's one run
Okay.
with 4 idiots talking over it.
Okay, love it. Yeah, that's great content.
Yeah, especially because before the first time we did it, I was the only one that had played the game before. But we've all been playing like deck building games in Magic for 1,000 years, so you
can
figure
pick it up pretty quick.
figure we'd be better at it. But and yeah, thanks to everybody in the chat for thanking us for streaming. Whenever I'm available that people are playing matches, I will absolutely stream a match, and if he's not grading papers, I'll try to grab Mano too. So I don't even know if I don't know how much you actually grade papers. It's math, so I imagine
I do
grading
grade a lot of papers.
I was going to say
sucks.
grading math papers is probably mind-numbing. So
Yes, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it comes with the territory. And yes, I do it a bunch, but I don't care. I'd love to join. I'd love to join whenever I can as well. So yes, thanks for watching, everybody.
Hey, Jeff said stream a sleigh run with Mano. If I didn't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning for work, I absolutely would. But I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm actually kind of all right to be getting off now.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well then, yes, you do that. I don't get up quite at 5:30, but I'm up at about 6:20 or so. So I also could use it. And after this weekend, I could use a few extra Z's. So
Yeah. After that's the other thing. I guess you jumped in here to cast this after a full sped weekend. So
yeah, I'm basically
have
running on
you?
fumes now.
I was gonna say, have you seen your family for longer than 20 minutes at a time, or yelling at them they need to make more packs all weekend?
That's basically the interactions. Yeah, I mean, It's that, but it's been great. They've been fine with it. They just do their own things and play their own games and live their own lives. And I don't know, my kids are old now. They're fucking easy.
Oh yeah, I need that. A couple more years.
Soon enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody. Have a good night, and to you as well, Mano.
All right. Later. Take care.
Bye everybody.